Hi, this is Jeff Stravinsky, Manager, HPN Solutions Architects, and today we're going to talk to you about changing the rules of networking in the data center. HP is the largest IT company in the world. Founded in 1939, it has over 300,000 employees, revenue of over $126 billion, and cash in the bank of over $15 billion. We're in all places of the planet. Over 170 countries, and we're number one in most markets. And why do I say this? Well, if today you were going to consider another networking company for your data center, who would it be? Would you consider some startup that just came out a couple of years ago? Or even one that's been out for a few years but barely has any market share? And even if they do, and as well as even if they have great products, would they be able to support you globally like they need to? HP's corporate goal is to be number one in the markets that it goes after. Certainly you can see this is the case in many markets such as blade servers, Unix servers, storage systems, asset management software, notebooks, desktops, printers, laser jets. And it's certainly our plan in networking equipment as well. As you can see, we've made great strides in Ethernet switching, being the solid number 2 in the marketplace, with players number 3, 4, and 5 all down at 2% or below in market share. We've made great strides just recently as well in market share gains. HP's grown over 35% over the last 2 years. We've gained 2.3% switching share over the last 2 years. We've also been gaining tremendously with several percentage points on the router side. We definitely realize that if you're going to make a change in your network infrastructure, you want to make sure that you're doing it with somebody that not only has good technology, but also has a big company to back it up. If we take a look at how Delora measures the market, we can see that HP again is a solid number 2, and really no other choices after HP in terms of market share preferences. As well, Gartner, with their infamous Magic Quadrant, has Cisco and HP as the only leaders available up there. Research shows in most corporate environments that there's a lot of unneeded complexity and waste and high costs due to architectures that have actually been deployed. If we look at a standard IT operation, we find out that about 70% of budget costs, whether they be people costs or maintenance costs, are actually being used for maintenance and operations. And a lot of times this is due to the fact that older technologies are more complex, they're inefficient to be managed, and a lot of customers have actually deployed over-provisioned and underutilized network architectures due to architectures that certain network providers have actually pushed. This ends up in being, really low productivity for that IT staff. And it also means that we've throttled back business innovation to just 30% within most IT organizations. What it means is that for projects, they have to be picked and choose and prioritized. And a lot of times there is not enough resources available to do projects that could really add to the bottom line. If only that a solution provider could come out and deliver solutions that are based on lower operational costs and lower maintenance costs, we could actually help businesses grow considerably. HP has a vision of less complex networks and less complex IT and data center solutions. Our converged infrastructure is essentially a solution that HP delivers where we tie together and take advantage of interoperability, open standards, and reduced power and network management complexity through one infrastructure, this converged infrastructure. Networking is the key to converged infrastructure, and what we'd like to do for you today is present to you what we believe to be the 4 most important value propositions that HP has for you as to why you should be taking a look at our networking products. Advanced architecture. Traditionally, networks have been built with multiple tiers. We often have seen networks where there is a core layer, a distribution layer, and an access layer. And this is rather historic in nature, especially if you look back over the last 20 plus years of networking technology, that we've come a long way. You know, initially only routers were large and expensive and very slow, and typically were only put at the core network. When switches came along, switches again were actually low density, not very fast, as fast as they are today at least, and were also extremely expensive. And oftentimes if they were put into a network, it was only at the distribution layer. And so really what we've ended up with is a multi-tiered network that in many cases is based upon historical performance of products and historical cost of products. And where we've been from and where we're going to is where features have really coalesced so that you can get any type of feature on any type of switch. And so therefore you really do not need to have a multi-tiered network for those reasons. As well, a lot of architectures have also benefited from the fact of having multiple tiers. And unfortunately, that's been to the benefit of mostly the manufacturers and not to customers. And lastly, one of the issues with three-tier architectures, and has been the argument for the longest time, is that it actually gives you demarcation points to stop issues, whether they be broadcast storms or spanning tree issues. And honestly, with the fact that you can get all features, including routing, at any layer of the network for very little cost differentiator, that again, these architectures are not needed any longer. So where HP really makes a big difference is in our network fabric. Between layers, we use standard Ethernet links. All links are active using standard link aggregation. What that means is that you can now actually interoperate with HP and other vendors. Utilize this virtualization technology, the network does not have to be all HP. There's tons of benefits. One of the biggest benefits is the fact that there's sub 50 millisecond failover for components within this network. Intelligence is distributed. It means that wherever a packet's received, that network device can forward it, whether it be layer 2 or layer 3. We deliver a network that's VRP, spanning tree free, and it can actually give you features, advanced features like VPLS down to the top of rack switch, or as new features come out like VEPA, we'll support that as well. One very important point is the fact that HP uses consistent technology at any and all layers. Our core switches, our distribution layer switches, and our access layer switches all utilize the same technology. Once you learn how to use HP's network fabric, you understand it for our products. This is quite different than our competitors. Now let's see how we can actually dramatically change the network by using HP's network fabric technology. So let's take that typical three-tier network and let's reduce it down to 2 tiers. So obviously one of the things that one might go through one's head is whether or not, does this network scale? And yes, it does. Actually, with this network technology, we can actually scale a 2-tier network to 48,000 gigabit Ethernet ports or 11,000 10 gig ports. In a data center or in a campus network, this is gigantic. And the beauty of it is that we can deliver this giving you line rate IPv4 and line rate IPv6. We can give you consistent, low latency from any point in the network to any point in the network for any size packet. And if you look at this, we've actually reduced network components, which reduced initial CapEx costs. And because we've reduced the number of components, we've actually reduced your operating expenses as well, whether it be maintenance costs, downtime due to maintenance windows, and the needed amount of staff to actually manage a network this large. HP's network fabric can even be taken to the extreme of reducing the network down to a single tier. If we look at a data center, we can actually attach up to 8,000 servers using our blade technology, along with our single tier fabric technology. Really what it gives you is a network that is highly scalable, is much more simple to operate, and really in the end gives you lower latency between all devices, really gives you a single hop from any device to any device. It delivers that with 4 times less cabling, and it actually gives you great quality of service controls, allowing you to control bandwidth from any server into the fabric in 100 megabit increments. HP's network fabric really brings you a lot of flexibility in how you can design a network. Let's go through a different example here. Let's say you either have a campus network and or a metropolitan area network with multiple buildings or sites. And traditionally, you would have done this using a lot of different technologies. Sonnet would have been a popular choice, as well as deploying multiple routers between all these different sites. It would have resulted in a very complex network with a lot of network adjacencies, interesting failover scenarios, and a lot of extra operational management. Utilizing our network fabric technology, we can actually virtualize up all the devices that make up the ring itself. Being that they're able to be virtualized, they're actually be able to manage as a single device. Think of it as a campus-wide or city-wide router. And the beauty of it is that it brings a lot of flexibility. Each site or each building actually looks like it's connected to a single box instead of multiple boxes. We can have large spans between those boxes, up to 70 kilometers using standard optics. Advanced layer 2 and layer 3, no VRP, no spanning tree, large tables, and a lot of flexibility. And the beauty of this being able to connect either layer 2 or layer 3 between all of those sites, very simply because it's all going through a single large router. Our advanced architecture also extends to the hardware platform itself. We developed our boxes to have lower power consumption throughout the entire box, as well as down at the optics level. A lot of our boxes are delivered with consistent low latency performance for multiple different packet types. And we also deliver high port density and distributed forwarding across all of these products. Simplified operation. HP brings simplified operation through the use of a single operating system and a single release train across our advanced data center products. New releases are supersets of previous versions. We also have a frequent release schedule and with little to no hardware dependencies. The architecture itself is very modular, it's easy to enhance and extend. All releases are fully regression tested for GA quality code. And as we all well know, network operations are highly complex nowadays because of the multiple versions of code that some manufacturers have for their products. HP simplifies that considerably. One line item you'll never see on an HP bill of materials will be a line item for COMware, which is our network operating system. Our network operating system is included with all of our products. In fact, there's no additional licensing that are needed for any advanced features. So when you buy COMware on your product, you get all features all the time. If the product was designed to support OSPF, OSPF is there. BGP is there. VPLS is there. IPv6 is there. ISIS is there. All features are there, and they're at no additional cost. And as we move forward with additional features over time, if that platform can support those features, you will get them at no extra cost. HP networks also have simplified operation because of our virtualization technology. Virtualization technology gives you less devices in the end to manage, upgrade, and maintain, and therefore gives you a shorter mean time to repair. As well, with fewer network components, you actually use up less rack space, less power consumption, less heat generation, which equates to lower annual maintenance overall. HP's goal is to deliver solutions that are based upon open standards. We want to give customers a choice and no vendor lock-in. We'd like to expand our solution-focused strategy as well with partners, delivering software solutions that span our products and other products. And we really do believe it's our responsibility to lead the industry when it comes to open standards delivery. And as well, we really do believe that all protocols are necessary to complete the solution. We don't feel that products should be stratified so that certain features are only available on certain products. And really what that ends up leading to in most architectures is network sprawl, unneeded components, doing features that really can be consolidated into fewer components. We really do believe that HP delivers better solutions this way. Increased visibility and control. HP's Intelligent Management Center, aka IMC, is a multi-vendor, single pane of glass network management system that can deliver network management across all of your resources in a unified way. It gives you a single pane of visibility across networking products and security products. It gives you integrated access and user management and flexible modular architecture to provide a tailored customer solution. HP's IMC delivers a full FCAPS management solution. F for fault management. We have multiple modules that are built into the base product for managing faults. Configuration management, which allows us to configure switches, routers, and other network components. There's additional modules that can also be added on for managing wireless and voice. We also deliver accounting management, the ability to actually go in and verify who's been using the system, when, and where. Performance management. We have add-ons that allow you to deliver additional looks into the network utilizing protocols like NetFlow and SFlow. And security management, the ability to control access across the network, even down to the user level. HP's IMC is designed for scalability. We can deliver a solution that can either be distributed or hierarchical. In the case of a distributed mode, we have the ability to take certain tasks and put them onto different pieces of hardware. Say, for instance, any SFlow monitoring we might want to put on its own box for performance reasons. As well, we can also distribute out the product within multiple parts of the network so that devices that are behind a firewall or are in different organizational zones can all be managed together. In either case, when the user logs into IMC to view the network, they are not aware that IMC has been distributed. Everything is still single pane of glass. HP's IMC gives you great tools to help you visualize your data center. Everything down to a floor view, a rack view, and then to a device view. All with alerts, all with full tools available to you, anywhere inside the view. IMC extends beyond just HP devices alone. We have the ability to manage thousands of devices from other manufacturers, including Cisco. In terms of Cisco, we actually have the ability to manage those devices just the same as we do ourselves. Discovery and topology, monitoring performance management, data center orchestration, configuration control, and software management. All products from one network management control. Starting in IMC version 5.0, we actually now have the ability not only to look at physical devices, but virtual devices as well. Through our unique partnership with VMware and our ability to integrate with the VMware API, we actually can dive into physical machines, go look at the virtuals that are running inside of them, and actually look at the vSwitch that connects those boxes together. It gives us tight integration with both vCenter and ESX, and the ability to manage devices a lot closer than before. With our enhanced VMware integration, we now have the ability to do data center orchestration. Imagine a world in which you're able to take a virtual machine, move it from one physical machine to another physical machine, and have any of the network configuration statements go along with it. Access control lists, VLAN information, QoS, rate limiting, you name it. IMC will actually migrate that data after it's been alerted that the virtual machine moved from one physical to another. HP's integration with VMware will deepen even further with the advent of a new technology called VEPA. VEPA actually allows us to extend switching and control of network traffic between VMwares. Instead of doing it in a vSwitch, actually extending that control all the way out to the physical switch. This is great for many reasons. One, it gives you all the controls that you would normally have in the physical switch, as well as it gives you hardware acceleration, a key point. We all know that one of the issues with vSwitches today is not only the lack of features, but most importantly, the lack of performance due to the fact that it's a switch being implemented inside software. To give you enhanced traffic analysis, HP implements a new open standards protocol called SFlow. SFlow is used to monitor traffic at wire speeds on all interfaces simultaneously in multiple of our products. This gives you a holistic view of the network, and it can give you specific information on each host. It can tell you who is talking to who and what protocols they're using to do that talking. SFlow is implemented in each device as well as a module that goes into IMC. The IMC module is called Network Traffic Analysis. And what it gives you is a graphical view of the S-flow data that is collected inside of the switches. You can get in-depth rule and policy-based analysis and easy to understand reports that can be defined in terms of traffic, application, or session baselines. Network managers have a lot to deal with nowadays. One of the big areas that has been a struggle for many has been security. HP is a leader in this area with its tipping point intrusion prevention products. As you'll see from the Gartner report at the right, we are up in the leader quadrant. And as well, we're best in class when it comes to finding those vulnerabilities themselves. Tipping Point actually goes out there and finds vulnerabilities inside of network operating systems and products and applications, write signatures for those, and get those out of the market before many manufacturers have discovered the bugs themselves and have patched them. This gives us the ability to deliver to you a solution that protects your network long before you can actually get patches from the manufacturer. Traditionally, IDS and IPS platforms have been designed and deployed in the physical world, but as more and more servers move to the virtual world, a solution is needed there. HP's Tipping Point is now available in a solution that can help you out between virtual machines. Our vRedirector software can actually redirect traffic going from one VM system to another VM system to be inspected and potentially blocked through a Tipping Point IPS, giving you a full solution across your entire data center. Tipping Point also has a deep understanding of applications. We actually give you the ability to do granular application control. While on your network it might be okay for users to use Yahoo IM for texting each other, you might not want them to be able to do it for direct file transfers, photo transfers, or even to download plugins that might not be allowed on your network. Tipping Point actually has the ability to know the difference between these features within an application and be able to allow or block them. Tipping Point can also do application rate limiting, so that during different times of the day it might be okay to allow HTTP traffic or Oracle traffic or eDonkey traffic or P2P traffic to exist in your network, but during those different times of the day you might actually want to rate limit those traffics so that certain applications get better throughput and at other times others don't. Tipping Point is really easy to initially deploy and continually to operate. We've made it quite simple with 2 subscriptions that you can purchase. The first and most critical one is Digital Vaccine. Digital Vaccine is our updates of vulnerabilities that are available out on the internet. This continuously gets updated to your IPS box so that you do not have to apply any vaccines or signatures yourself. The second is a reputation database. What this does is we classify the internet into good and bad places based upon IP addresses, DNS names, geography, or IP blocks, giving you the ability to even stop people from going to places that are known bad places to go to. HP's been a leader for a long time in giving you increased visibility and control in terms of heat and power management. Our sea of sensor technologies deployed in many of our products allows these products to automatically adapt to changing power and changing heating and cooling conditions, as well as give you increased data so that you can plan out your data center. Technical and business services. Hardware and software alone does not make a solution, and this is why HP also offers a myriad number of technical services that can help you out from pre-planning to post-planning. As you can see here, in 2010, Gartner rated us quite highly in the Magic Quadrant. HP offers a series of post-sales support options, anything from proactive to full mission critical support. HP has many of the services that you need on the consulting side as well, from strategy and planning to assessment services to architecture and design to integration and deployment to network optimization and to network on-demand consulting. HP also offers all of the education services that you'll need, as well as certification services. HP's technical services really round out our solution portfolio to you. I'd really like to thank you for your time in going through this presentation, and please consider HP is delivering solutions to you for your networking needs. Thank you.